We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And she's Brenda.
How do, peoples?
How do, peoples? And he's Grogu. He'll be the silent one today, right, Sophie?
Something like that.
Okay. And anyway, we're on the road with Mickey. This is episode 134 for August 15th, 2022. And our feature topic this week is your favorite smells at Disney. And of course, before we get going, though, we are going to do a little cheddar from the big cheese. And Brenda is going to start us off with some incredible cheddar.
Incredible cheddar. Well, it's going to be incredible, but it's not yet. But it is going to be because when I go on the Disney Wish, there's one place I'm for sure going to investigate for our listeners, and that is Inside Out Joyful Sweets. We're talking
Yay!
freshly made waffle cones, signature desserts based on each of the emotions in cupcake form. Rock on!
Ooh.
And nearly 40 flavors of gelato and ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Too bad it's just a
please.
4-night cruise.
You know, that's 10 flavors a day. You can
Yeah,
do that.
it is.
You can do that.
I'll be in a
Oh, yeah.
coma, but hey, if you have to be
But
comatose,
you know
there's no
what?
way better to be as on a Disney ship.
It's all in the name of research, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Oh, God. I'm really looking forward to it, though. That's just another reason of the 50,000 I already have.
Yep. All right, Sophie, you're next.
All right, then. Well, coming to Disney Plus on Disney Plus Day, which, by the way, is September 8th, is a brand new original series, Cars on the Road. Featuring Mater and Lightning McQueen, the story is that they are traveling across the country to visit Mater's sister back east. And this looks to be a whopping 9-episode series.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
There's a trailer
Nice.
out about it, and I'm like, this looks pretty darn good. I think it might
Yay.
be fun to watch.
Awesome.
And you know, I missed this. So,
Uh-oh.
mea culpa, so sorry. Um, but lost a little bit in the headlines last August 1st, so 2 weeks ago. Coronado Springs Resort celebrated its 25th anniversary.
Wow.
The
Wow.
resort opened on
Wow.
August 1st, 1997, and Coronado has the unique distinction as being our first on property Disney resort that we stayed at, and that was in 2007 and then again in 2008.
Cool.
And I love that resort. And now,
Yay.
with Grand Destino Tower and the changes and
Oh, I love the
oh my
tower.
gosh, the
So
the
pretty.
the pool area, what is it called? The
Yeah.
Big
The
Dig or
dig
the
The
Dig
dig
site.
Site?
The
The
site.
dig
Dig
site.
Site. I mean, it is such a great property. It
Yep.
is really
Pretty
worth
cool.
staying at. So
A lot
check
of
it out.
dining choices too, and a bar on property.
Yeah, a lot of
2
dining.
bars, I think. Yeah.
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 So there's a lot of different good stuff going on around at Coronado. So if you
Yay.
if you haven't considered it, give it some thought. But anyway,
Happy
happy anniversary.
anniversary.
And that is our cheddar from the big cheese. And now we are moving on to our feature topic, which is your favorite smells at Disney. We
Mm.
each picked three scents. And in my mind, anyway, what I'm doing with it is I'm going to tell the scent and give the memory that goes along with it so that I
Oh.
hopefully will help people to figure out why it means so much to me. So that's my mind
Nice.
anyway. And if no one else does it, then I just get
I
bonus points for extra credit. That's all I'll get.
I won't be doing it. I'll just be
Nor will
dreaming of
I.
being there.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sophie is going to start us off.
All right, then. Well, my number 3, and honestly, I don't really count any of these as ranks in their own right,
Okay.
just because I love all of them equally.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one I'm going to talk about, this one can't even really be found in the park. This is something that you find in the resorts.
Okay.
And what I'm talking about is the H2O bath toiletries series that you find in Disneyland and Disney World hotels. And there's a very specific scent from it. It's not a scent that actually comes in the rooms. It's one that you have to buy. And I'm talking about the conditioner that I bought called Bath Aquatics. It's very hard to explain all this, but for those of you who are familiar with the Disney shampoo line, then you know that it's all based around the ocean. And the one that you all are most familiar with is probably sea marine and sea salt. Those are the two that you find in the resorts. Well, to me, Bath Aquatics kind of has a softer scent to it. It's still very clean and I like it. I like it a lot, but it's softer. Cuz sea marine and sea salt, they definitely have that saltiness to it that you find with the sea.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the takeaway though is that every time you condition your hair, it reminds you of being back at Disney and being
That's
there
right.
for your 21st birthday because that's when you bought the conditioner to bring home.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Yes, very good.
If only it was a little less expensive. In order to make it last longer, I mix it with my regular conditioner.
that's actually a smart idea though,
Yep.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
I tend to use a lot of conditioner. It
Yeah.
takes a lot to make hair this long look good.
Hmm.
All right. Well, good start, Sophie. Way to
Yay.
start us off.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Well, Brenda, you are next.
Yeah, okay. Well,
So
I didn't rank mine. I mean
that's fine.
they're all my favorite scents, and then I had two runners up because it's hard for me to make decisions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have the hardest time trying to choose, but I'll just start with my first one.
Go for
It
it.
is Avatar Flight of Passage, and especially when the Banshee lands in the cave and like sits there, that smell is like it's just I don't even know. It's just awesome. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful view and a beautiful scent, and it just warms my heart. I don't know. But I love it.
Okay.
Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thank you.
So, number 3 on my list is the, and this is a dated scent now because it's not there anymore unless my mind is totally whacked out and forgotten about it. But over in the original Soarin', um, the orange
Oh
grove,
yeah.
Oh.
the orange grove was
Yes.
that was it, and I just I
Yes,
love
that was
that,
very good.
Yeah.
I love that, and the whole thing about it is, Sophie can tell you when we first started going um on Soren, I was not a fan.
Oh,
I don't know what was going on with me, Brenda, but it was like I felt like I was just gonna fall,
oh no, yeah.
freaking me out. It was really freaking me out, people.
Yeah. Poor
and
thing.
and the funny thing is though, when I finally wrote it, I chickened out and we were on the lowest level. and I sat on the far right edge, and I was holding on for dear life. And I looked down, and I saw where the flooring was, and I thought to myself, okay,
I could
if
live
I
through this.
if I fall, then it's just a broken leg. I'm not gonna die, you know?
Right, right.
So it'll be okay. It'll just be like, you know,
Yep.
Mike broke his leg at Disney.
Then your
He can't-
bravery shine through.
So after that, I was fine. But the orange smell always reminded me of when I was a chicken.
That's funny. That's
Oh,
awesome. That's hilarious.
So there's the memory. That's what I was thinking of with this whole episode, is to
That's funny.
bring back the memories of that, you know?
That is too
So
funny.
anyway,
That's a good
so
one.
that's number 3 on my list. And mine
Yeah.
are in a specific order from lowest to highest, greatest. So
All right. All
yeah.
right. Well, Sophie, what is your next one?
Well, mine, this is one that I actually used to not like at all. I hated the smell when I was younger, to the point that whenever we got near it, I would always plug my nose like this and hold my breath because I didn't want it anywhere near my respiratory system, not even
Wow.
breathing it through my mouth, where I couldn't really smell it. But the one that I'm talking about is the smell of the fire burning in Spaceship Earth. It's the
Ooh.
scene where
Yeah.
Rome falls, and to quote the ride itself, but then we hit a roadblock. Rome falls, and the great library in Alexandria, Egypt, is burned. And there was that smell with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I could not stand it when I was younger, but now as I'm older, I actually really enjoy the scent of it. I really like the smell of the wood burning because that's what it reminds me of. My dad says it smells like sulfur. To me, it smells like a wood fire.
yeah, and you know what? I was thinking about that. Um and I figured that was going to be one of your choices, Sophie. And as I thought about it, the more I thought about it, the more I figured I was wrong, that it's not a sulfur smell, because
Yeah,
if it was, I would be like gagging, you know?
that's true.
And so I realized, you know what? It is more like a wood, just like a wood burning. And a comparable that I remember that was very strong,
Hmm.
um, is the fire scene over at Cali River Rapids.
That's
Uh-huh.
true.
How have they been cutting down the trees and burning the trees, and that's what
Yep.
made the rapid go and everything like that.
It's
And
like a
that's
kerosene fire. That's what it smells like to me. It's like a kerosene fire.
yeah.
Yeah,
But good choice, Sophie, because that one, it is. I mean, how many people would instantly, if you said Spaceship Earth would smell, they would know exactly where you were, and they would
Hmm.
probably remember the first time they smelled it. You
yeah.
know,
That's true.
so that's a
Very good.
good choice, Sophie. Good job.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right,
Well,
Brenda.
for this one, I'm going to stick with the rides. This is the second one that's a ride scent, and that, of course, is Mickey's PhilharMagic
Oh,
during the Be Our Guest scene when he's got all the desserts and the pie, and it smells so darn good during that scene. And that's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Smells so good before the
Hmm.
pie explodes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was one of Cindy's ones that she chose too.
Oh, cool.
Was
Good
that
taste.
the
Good
smell of
taste.
the apple pie? To me, it
Yeah.
always had a slightly burnt smell to it, though. So
Yeah.
that one wasn't one of my favorites.
I like it because it's not, I don't think it's the pie so much I'm smelling or I'm getting. It's more of a, like a fruity icing smell. It's not apple that I'm thinking of,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's in that scene and I love it.
yeah, yeah. Um, So for me, number 2 on my list, and um this is a very close number 2. But number 1, when I tell you and the reasons why, you'll really get as to why it's number 1. But number 2 on my list is Town Square over by City Hall, the popcorn vendor who's making fresh popcorn 24 hours a day, it feels like.
Yeah.
Because anytime you're over there, it always smells brand spanking new, like he had just popped or she had just popped that popcorn. I mean, it is
Yep.
so
Yep.
good. That popcorn, it takes me back to one of our first trips. We were waiting for the parade for the evening for the Main Street Electrical Parade. I had gone and gotten a popcorn and a Diet Coke. As
Your
everyone knows,
favorite
one of my
snack.
favorite snacks. And I got back. We were sitting in the town square area in the section part um where Roy and Minnie's
Uh-huh.
chair is, and we were just sitting and waiting. And next to us was a family, and their son was a Make a Wish
Oh.
recipient, and they were there for his wish, and
Oh, nice.
it was so cool. And we just talked to him. We don't know their names or anything, and I hope he's doing well. But it was just a great Disney moment because you're just sitting there, you're just enjoying company, right? And you're just making friends while you wait for the parade. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And so that popcorn and that Diet Coke always reminds me of that memory.
Sweet.
So so that's number 2 on my list.
Very nice. All right, Sophie, what is your number 3 or your number 1?
Well, again, there's really no order or ranking to these. And admittedly, I had a lot of trouble deciding which one I was going to include in my list, but I decided just go with my gut and choose this one. And I think it works perfectly because I really like this smell. And I'm talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, not the smoke from the cannonballs and stuff. I'm talking about the water itself. When you enter into the line queue at the Pirates of the Caribbean, you get that immediate smell of dampness, mustiness, but it's pleasant. Yet,
The pleasant musties.
I love it. I know exactly what you mean,
Me
Sophie.
too.
and there's really no way to describe it that won't make it sound unpleasant. So you just got to make sure everyone knows it smells good, just not in the way that you think good should smell like.
It's the smell of anticipation.
It's the
That's
smell of
exactly.
pirates.
Yeah.
It's the smell of pirates. And you know what? I actually, while I was Googling it, because I Google a lot of these things just to make sure that I'm not going crazy and that the smell actually does exist and it's meant to be there. And I found something out.
What's
And
that?
this might also be why my sunscreen doesn't really work that much whenever I go to the pools at the resorts. But Disney World pools don't use chlorine in their water. And I think the same thing goes for Pirates of the Caribbean. Instead, they use something called bromine or bromine.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine if you get on Pirates and you're first starting out, and the only
Yeah.
thing you smell is the smell of chlorine, like you get at the pool
Yeah.
where they throw 80 gallons into so no kids are gonna spread any germs or whatever.
Yeah.
Could you?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that would be such a different smell.
For sure.
It would be. I think it would be horrible. I would dare say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would
I
So
know,
invade all your
right?
senses.
So I was actually going to say that. And I also heard someone say, and this is from another podcast, which is far more popular than ours, but they said that they called the water, musty water, like an '80s perfume,
Oh,
like an
crap.
'80s cologne called Musty Waters.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh
but
my
anyway,
gosh.
but anyway, yeah, I know exactly
Yeah.
what. No, there is a distinct. I mean, it's funny how the Imagineers work not just in your eyes and everything, but in all your senses to make the ride the ride. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and you're right, Sophie. That one is really they did a good job in making that. And it's I think all the water rides are like that. You
I
know?
am almost completely certain because when I read that, I was like, isn't bromine like a dangerous chemical? But the more I researched it, the more I realized that bromine is actually better for sensitive skin than chlorine is.
Yeah.
And it also does a better job of killing the bacteria than chlorine does. So
Okay.
all in all, it's a better choice for Disney to use.
Yep. Just don't ingest it.
Yeah. Don't
Yep.
drink it.
I did see one link about how someone decided they wanted to know what the Disney water tastes like. So they went on Pirates of the Caribbean with an empty water bottle, scooped up some of the water, and took it
Oh.
home to cook with it. I did not click on the link to see how that went, but I can assume that it did not go well.
Yeah. I'm not going to find out either.
I don't know why.
Don't drink the water, kids. Bring your own.
Exactly.
Or at
Exactly.
least ask for ice water at one of the restaurants because that's obviously safe.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, good choice, Sophie.
All right. That's
Brenda,
good.
you're up.
Well, I'm off of rides now and into another favorite scent. And it is, I'm going to chop up this name because I call it a nickname, which I can't say on the air.
Mm,
But it is the scent when you first walk in to the caramel couche.
Oh,
the
Oh
where?
my God.
over
The
in Norway,
smell of
Sophie.
caramel corn.
Oh.
It's
Caramel
just a,
corn.
and
Yeah.
we visit there every single trip, and as soon as I walk in that door and smell that caramel corn, oh my gosh, it smells so good. You know, my first job was at a place called Caramel Corn, and it was in the mall, and I was 13.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yep, and I scooped up caramel corn, and they made caramel corn in these big huge kettles, and cheese corn. Now I was a cheese corn fanatic, but cheese corn could never smell like caramel corn. And every
Oh.
time I walk in that place, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is heaven. I don't
And
even
you
eat it.
say
It's
Wow.
the
you
smell
go
of
in,
it.
you go in and you say, "This is heaven. Can I have a job application?"
That's
Oh,
right. Yep, it's the
gosh.
smell that caramel corn smells so good. Now, what I get there is the little fudge bar with the sea salt, the dark chocolate with the sea salt. I love it, but the smell of caramel corn to me can't be beat. It just is great. Just walking in there, you can just walk in there and just smell it and then just leave.
Well, we didn't buy it there, but Sophie and I at Yacht Club at the market,
Hmm.
we
Yeah.
bought um
Churro flavored popcorn.
churro flavored popcorn, and I bought the cheddar cheese flavored popcorn.
I like that
And
stuff.
we talked about it on the podcast, but they were really good. And Sophie, that popcorn lasted like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was so good, and
Yeah.
it was rich enough that you tasted it and you didn't need a whole lot, and that's why it was able to last so long.
Yeah. That's a
So
good
yeah,
snack
that
choice when it
was
lasts that long.
yeah, that was a really good choice, and I think we'll get that again. But it probably is similar to what you get there. So
Yeah. Do you want me to go ahead and say my runners up or you want me to wait?
no, go ahead and say your runners up.
My runners up are from two resorts, the scent of the lobbies of two resorts. One is the Poly, which is, the tropical Hawaiian fragrance, and the other is the Yacht Club, the clean scent
Yeah.
that's in the Yacht Club resort. those are my favorite 2 resort scents out of all the resorts we stayed at. And we've stayed at almost all resorts. But
Yeah.
those are the best, in my opinion.
Yep.
Well, good.
Yep.
Good.
So that's it for me. Now I
Oh.
want to go there and get some caramel. Yeah.
Cracker Jacks.
I like Cracker
Yeah.
Jacks too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't eat it. I don't eat the caramel corn. I just love the smell of it. I don't eat Cinnabon either, but
Oh.
Cinnabon to me smells so much better than it actually tastes that I would just rather smell
I
it.
love Cinnabon. Oh my gosh, I love Cinnabon.
I love Cinnabon too. How can you not eat it?
I know. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
And I think it tastes just as wonderful as it smells.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, my number one choice, it's the evening smell of rain.
Mmm.
After it's rained all day, you go to the parks, it's evening. Because it rained all day, everyone has gone. You practically have an empty park. And that cooler temperature with the scent of the rain just laying on
Yeah.
the ground. I mean, it just does something. I can't explain it. But I have 2 examples, 2 memories for this one, and this is why number 1. 2010. That's the year that we surprised Sophie for her birthday by bringing Stephanie.
Yeah.
And it rained during the day. We went back to the hotel and we came back for evening extra magic hours. And it was Sophie's first extra magic hours. And the
Yay.
Magic Kingdom was open to like 1 or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Gosh, they need to do that.
I miss those days so much.
Oh my gosh, so do I. And it was perfect. And that's when we saw Mickey and Minnie get on Dumbo with the kids,
Yeah.
the other kids, you know. Um, but that was like the perfect, and so that's 2010, and that was a great first um extra magic hour experience for Sophie, you know. We
Yeah.
just loved it. It was just so neat, you know. And then 2 years later, just 2 short years later, it had poured so hard. It poured harder this day than it did when we were waiting to ride the TTA.
Oh,
And it,
wow. And it was
rained
pouring.
for hours. It was almost like a hurricane went through. And so we're all holed up in Animal Kingdom. And we wanted to go back because we had another extra magic hours event at Magic Kingdom. And we were just waiting. And finally, the rain broke and we had time and we were able to go back to the Magic Kingdom. And so this is 2012. And we're there. And that's when Shane proposed to Stephanie
Nice.
on the Cinderella Castle. He got down on one knee and he asked her to marry him.
Aw.
And I was taking pictures and Cindy was there and we were bawling our eyes
Oh,
out.
sweet.
Sophie wasn't there because she stayed at the room with the other kids and Miss Monica. And it was
It was the smell of love.
a
Yep.
great memory. And those 2 memories just do it, knock it out of the park. And that's why that scent is number 1 on my list.
That's
So
right.
Nice.
Takes you back.
that's why it's there. But yeah, it's such a neat scent, you know. So,
Yeah.
and that's my number 1. Now,
Very
I
good.
asked the question rather late, so I don't have as much input this time. But I asked the question in the Facebook group on our On the Road with Mickey Facebook group. I asked what their favorite scents are, and the first one to chime up, Sophie, was Aunt Robin.
Oh, yay.
She
Ooh.
said that she loved the scent, just like Brenda. She loved the scent at the yacht club, and because they came over to visit before they all headed home. She also loves the scent of sunscreen, and she laughed about Sophie's infamous cough syrup drink.
Oh yeah, the one that she got a sip of.
I was like, so was it a good smell with a bad
That's
taste,
funny.
or was it a bad smell with a bad taste? And she said she was just joking. So did
It
it
was a
have?
good smell with a
It had a
bad
good
taste.
smell. Okay, so
It
there
was
you
a
go.
good smell with a bad
Okay,
taste.
Well, at
so
least it was a good smell.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, you can't really smell the vodka in it. You smelled what it was without the vodka, and then you took a drink and all of a sudden oh gosh.
she
There
still
you
had a
go.
good smell.
Yeah.
Part of Robin's memories.
Yep,
I hope so, considering that was my first drink.
yeah. And then my buddy John said he loves the smells at the Grand Floridian. He loves the smell at Basin at Disney Springs.
I went
And
to Basin.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and also he loves the smell at the Riviera.
Yeah. I went to
That's a good one
Basin.
too.
It's a good it's a good store. It's about bath bombs and other bath essentials, and they have so many different smells. If any of you know what Lush smells like, it's also a bath bomb store. It smells like that.
Yeah.
There's no other way
Basin,
to
there's
describe
two
it.
basins now at Disney Springs, Sophie. There's the regular basin and there's Basin White, which I think is going to be like a cleaner, more subtle scent. So
Oh,
Nice.
so next time
looks
she's
like I'll
at
be
Disney
going.
Springs, it might be worth checking it out for
Is
her.
the soap making
Yes,
place
please.
inside the Grand Floridian on the second floor of Basin, or what is that?
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
know.
I'm pretty sure that's its own thing. I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
and I think it
I thought
might
it might have been
be
a basin.
I actually think it might be different. I didn't see a basin anywhere,
Yeah.
like a sign for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't
Mm,
remember what it says above it. That's why I'm asking, because I don't remember. I remember, I know what it looks like, but I don't know what it's called. So,
I'm a guy.
but
I
yeah,
don't observe those
the
things.
basin at
So
Disney Springs is
That's also because you don't use my bathtub, Daddy.
exactly.
good
Mm,
thing.
Yep. And then friend of the show Cindy said Pop Century's lobby is on her list, as well as the Taj Mahal scene at Soarin'.
Mm.
And like Sophie said, the water smell that you encounter on all of the boat rides. She said, I wouldn't want that last one as a candle, but I definitely associate it with the parks.
Speaking of
That's true.
candles, something that happened a lot while I was researching this was it kept on coming up as Disney releases new line of candles with park scents.
Yep.
And hey, now you know why you don't want that smell as a candle because it has bromine in it.
Well, it probably doesn't in the actual candle. But anyway, moving
That's
on from that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for writing in.
And then one last one. Sandy loves, just like I do, she loves the smell of that fresh popcorn for the collectible popcorn buckets.
Nice,
So,
nice.
so thank you guys for filling in and giving us your input. And if we get any more after the fact, I'll include them in next week's episode. But that wraps up our feature topic. And now it is time for this day in Disney history for August 15th. So,
Yay.
All
Sophie,
right.
take it away, honey.
And this is one that we all agreed on way before I got the chance to actually put it into the show notes. But here we go. August 15th, 1936. Disney animator Ward Kimball marries his wife, Betty Lawyer, who has been working in Disney's ink and paint department for a year. What is it with all of the wives of the big guys coming from the ink and paint department?
I know,
Apparently,
right?
they had quite a reputation, according to what Lillian's sister or friend told her that you said a couple weeks
Both.
ago.
Both.
They had a reputation, I guess, for that.
Maybe I
I
should go
guess.
join the ink and paint department.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, anyway, Betty will work her way up the ranks at Disney, painting cells, choosing colors, and creating color models to guide the work of other painters. She will end up leaving the studio in mid-1939 to raise a family, and her marriage to Ward will last 66 years until his
Wow.
death in 2002.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I love weddings.
Yeah.
Oh, I do too.
All right.
All
Wow.
right.
That's a great history.
Yay.
Good job, Sophie.
Very good, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for Stump the Soph. And
Mm-hmm.
this time I am ready. I have my
Uh-huh.
character and I have my clues. So, yay me. I win
Sophie's ready
automatically.
too.
For having it ready, that means I win automatically.
No, 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 no.
Oh, Daddy, if you had it ready automatically making you win, then you would win every time, I like to think.
Anyway,
Good luck.
thank you. Oh, you were talking to Sophie.
Oh no, I was
Nah.
talking to you.
Well, I expect her to get them all because she is my kid
Hmm.
after all. This character is elegant and ladylike.
Duchess from the Aristocats or Lady from Lady and the Tramp?
Wrong,
Neither?
wrong, wrong,
Wow.
and wrong.
That's just because there's only one. I mean, that could be a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
it's not
Or not people.
Gaston. It's not Gaston.
No,
So
it's
we know
not.
who it's not. This character is a diplomat. And that threw me a little bit.
Jane from Tarzan.
Nope.
No?
This character often has to resolve quarrels between her husband and neighboring lords.
Is it Merida's mother?
Eleanor.
Yes, it is Merida's mother. Way to
Yeah.
go. Brenda got it.
Obviously, I didn't know her name. I have to count on Sophie for that.
Hey,
Yes, it was.
give her credit where credit is due.
Yeah, good job.
I didn't realize we hadn't done Queen Eleanor before.
No, we hadn't. We had done Merida, of course. Um,
I love
and
Merida.
I do too. And we did King Fergus, but we had never done Queen Eleanor. And I have two
Wow.
bits of Did You Know?
Yeah?
Eleanor's name means shining light in Gaelic.
Hmm.
And this is a creative Did You Know? The look of Eleanor's dress, you remember the green with the flecks and everything?
Yes.
The look of her dress was created by covering matted silk with metallic paint. This
Hmm.
gave animation artists something to study when completing her gown. So,
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
good job. Brenda knew the character and Sophie knew the name. So
Yeah,
that's a tag
I
team
never
win.
would have known the name
Yeah.
for sure.
So
To
Queen
be
Eleanor.
fair, I'm a history buff and I count Brave as history.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
I do have one little quick thing
Oh,
Mhm.
yay.
before we turn it over to Brenda for a little bit of Walt.
Yeah.
And that is that the other day I was watching the Dodgers game, and it was so funny because for the Minnesota Twins, there is a player named Jose Manuel, and he is the cousin of Lynn Manuel Miranda from Hamilton.
Yeah.
And Joe Davis, in the course of this guy being up to bat, he was the announcer for the Dodgers. He said, I never knew this, but Lin-Manuel Miranda was the same person who did the soundtrack for Encanto. And I'm like, how could you not know that? He's like, he asked Oral Hershiser, did you know? And Oral's like, no, I didn't know. I'm like, I knew. I'm yelling at the TV, I knew.
To be fair,
That's
that's probably
hilarious.
because I really like Lin-Manuel Miranda's work, so you probably heard me say it.
No, I knew that before then. But anyway, what's funny after that, all of a sudden, Joe Davis, the announcer for the Dodgers, says, we don't talk about Bruno. No, no, no.
That's
And
funny.
I'm like, that right there is how much of an influence Disney has in the world,
For
that
sure.
this movie gets mentioned in the middle of a ball game.
That's
So,
true.
so that's my little sidebar um,
That's
tangent that
true.
I went on. But I just thought that was funny.
Clever.
So, but anyway, that is my who's who and my little sidebar tangent. And now it's time for Brenda and a little bit of Walt.
All right, and we're back to animation. Animated picture making is an expensive business. One wrong pencil line can cost hundreds of dollars. I can't hold a pencil to the artists in my studio. I credit the success of my films to the teamwork in my organization.
That's
Walt
awesome.
Disney,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said it. There's a quote somewhere that he talks about, and this is a similar quote to this about how, he doesn't do anything as far as animation or drawing or anything anymore, even though that's how he got started, he was the drawing.
Yeah.
He's like, the only thing I do now with a pencil is like sign a check or sign my name kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, that's when a little boy, I think a little 5-year-old boy or something asked him, "Do you draw Mickey Mouse?" And he said, "I don't draw at all anymore." I mean, he left it to people he felt were better than he was at it, and that was part of his gift. He knew where his gifts lied and where his gifts didn't lie, and he
Yeah.
never felt like he was a good artist.
Yeah. So,
He sure was a good man though, and a smart man.
yep, absolutely. Well, my friends, that wraps us up for this week.
Yeah.
Next week, we are going to take a look at your last day, your the day you leave Disney, and what you do before you leave. So, for example, let's say it's the day you're checking out, but your flight home isn't for several hours. So what are you going to do to fill in that time? If you're not going to the parks or whatever, what are you going to do? And so we're going to give you some suggestions of last day things you can do before you leave for home at Disney.
Sounds good.
So that's the topic, and that's a crazy way of saying it, but that's what I'm trying to get across is last day suggestions of things to do before you go home.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, as always, I'm Mike. That's Sophie. She's Brenda, and he's Grogu. And we are on the road with Mickey. And we hope you have a great week. And we will
See
See
you
you
on
on
the
the
road.
road.
bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.